All right, it's game week. Let's go. Fire away.
Coach, when you look at Auburn, have you looked at a lot of Falcons tape with
Man, I've looked at everything.
Yeah.
Wow, Lee, I've looked at everything. I mean, if anybody that's had any contact, and we've watched film. Golly, we go back as far as we needed to go back. I mean, we're just the point to where you've watched so much, you can kind of get film, kind of film crazy over it, but. It boils down. It's like all first couple games of the year. You better worry about the Clemson Tigers. That's kind of my thought process. I mean, we got an idea, new coordinator, obviously, and studying his past, and you have an idea, but at the same sense, you can't beat yourself, and you better worry about yourself. You better get good at something, and you better get good at what you do, and so that's kind of been our focus and philosophy, and it has been for many years. I mean, especially in these first couple games. I mean, you better protect the football and be able to have an identity. But yes, we've watched a lot of film and just try to put our players in position to be successful, and that's all you can do this first week, and got to take care of the football.
Life without Sammy for this game. How do you react, respond, and gear up for something like this?
Well, I think we've done a really good job during fall camp. I know Coach Sweeney has, with the way we've went through workouts and keeping Sammy out and letting him go and do other things, and for whether it be the scout team or whatnot. But we've had to manage, and we've got there's more guys out there than just Sammy, and had to have guys last year to make big plays. Besides Sammy, we all know what he's like when he's in there, and the impact that he has. But it's not about Sammy. It's about, like I said, it goes back to you got to have Tajh Boyd, you better have Andre Ellington, and you better have an offensive line that's ready to go. You better have your skill guys on the edge that are ready to go. And so I feel good about that. I mean, it is, and we've had a good camp. And now it's time to put it all together. It's time to let some of our younger guys step up and make some plays, but we'll be ready to go. We'll be ready to go for Saturday.
Coach says Sharon's the starter at his spot over Adam. What did he do to earn that?
Well, I just think his consistency in camp had really just kind of pushed everybody over the edge with Sharon. I mean, he was as consistent as anybody we had. He was definitely a huge playmaker. Sharon's probably one of the fastest players on the team. Him and Martavius and Sammy are probably the top three fastest players on the team. And those guys right there would, just his ability to make plays during spring ball. I really saw Sharon coming on the middle to end of spring, really kind of gaining his confidence back, something he didn't have last year, and be able to see him this year and come out in fall camp and talking to the players and the summer that he had. The consistency is what kind of he won the job, and that doesn't mean Adam's not going to get to play. Adam's going to play a lot, but Sharon definitely gives us that versatility. You can put Sharon and anywhere you want him.
Can you tell us about Van Gore's defense? What he likes to do? What do you think he might like to do?
Well, he's going to do a good job mixing his coverages up. I'm sure they're down there probably saying the same thing we are. They better worry about themselves and get good at something. You can, heck, it's like us. I mean, you can get overcomplicated, and what can your kids do? What can your players do? But he wants to bring pressure. He's a guy that likes to bring pressure. He's going to mix his coverages up, does a really good job of disguising the coverages, moves his front. They got probably one of the best defensive fronts in the country. And especially those two ends that they got. And so, I'm sure those guys are, they want to get you in third and long. That's where they want to get you, so they can get you in some pass rush situations. But he bases everything on trying to get off the field on third down, which all defensive coordinators do. But from studying him and his days in college and in NFL, I mean, he does a really good job of disguising his coverages.
What about Gift Timothy? Where do you see him being available, starting?
I do. I feel like he'll be ready to go. I feel like he'll be able to start, and we'll know this week. He worked out last week. The more the week progressed, the more that the more reps he got, and he looked good. We got to get him. He's a little out of shape, but that comes with having a week or so off, 2 weeks off. But we got to get him back in game shape, and so I expect Gift to be the guy there.
How confident are you with the offensive line now as you get ready for this game?
Well, I'm extremely confident in them. We've got to come out and it's a mindset, and I've been saying that since I got here. It's a mindset with those guys up front, and Gift Timothy obviously gives us the best chance up front. You've got Giff and then Tyler Shatley and of course Dalton and David Beasley at left guard right now, and obviously you'll see Kalon in there as well and Brandon Thomas. But I feel good with those guys. Until you start getting some live bullets flying at them, and you'll all we can go on is and simulate as close to game situation as we can in practice. But you put them out there in front of 75,000 people. We want that veteran leadership with Dalton and Brandon Thomas to really step up and help those other guys out. But so we'll see. It's definitely a day-to-day progress. I mean, there will be it's just because we've named a starting lineup doesn't mean it's set in stone. I mean, it could change today. I mean, we want competition, and that's one of the best things we got to have.
How do you feel like this line is done in short yardage situations and some of the goal line situations you're in camp?
Well, we always can get better. There's some things that we're doing, trying to help them out. We've gotten better. At what extent? I don't know. I don't know. Talk to me after Saturday. I'll let you know more then on short yardage. But that's one of our focuses was what can we do? How can we get better on 3rd and 1 to 2? And so that's been a big focus during camp and spring ball and everything. So it's an ownership thing. It's a pride. It's an ownership. It's say, hey, this is on me. Let's go get it. And that's what we want out of a group up front.
Coach, this year's line's obviously a lot less experience than last year's, but are there some areas where you see they can be better than last year's group?
I think talent-wise, as far as athleticism and their ability, we're much more athletic. We move better, which is good in a scheme that we have. It's just fitting together, the cohesiveness that you're asking for with those guys. And you earn that through playing time. You earn that through just repetition over and over and over with those guys. And so that's why it was so important last week for us to find those guys that this is it right here, and then let's stick with them and let them compete against each other. But I think from an athletic standpoint, I think we're better in that regard.
Plan to help those guys out quite a bit in the opener with extra blockers, or?
Well, I don't know about extra blockers, but you try to do everything you can to take pressure off those guys. But hey, they're Division I players. They got scholarships. I mean, it's time to go play, and that's what we expect of them. Ain't nobody gonna hold their hand. I'm not gonna hold their hand. They're there. They're here. I feel really good about those guys, but they got to be able to step in, and here we go. And that's the attitude that you want with that bunch up front. And again, you've got 2 guys that are returning, and you want Dalton's leadership and Brandon Thomas's leadership to really step up. Tyler Shatley's a guy that's earned so much respect. So he's essentially a veteran player as well. But so you really want those guys to really step up and say, hey, put it on us, let's go. So I feel good about them. It's just we need to have a really good week of practice this week, but hey, they'll be ready to go. I'm excited about it.
How important will it be to run the football against this front seven, considering, South Carolina last year not able to establish the run, NC State?
Sure.
Teams like that turn into... I
think whether you're playing, whoever you're playing, whether you're playing Auburn or whoever you may be playing, it's important to run the football regardless. I mean, you've got to, in our scheme, that's what we do. we want to run the football. We want to be as balanced as possible. We want to run the football. And so I think whoever you're playing right now, running the football is extremely important, and to be able to establish the run game. So yes.
How's Brandon Ford improved in the area of being more physical?
He has. Brandon had a really good summer. Has had a good fall camp. He's a guy that presents, obviously he presents a lot of challenges because of the way he plays and the speed he plays at. That's his MO. I mean, that's what he does. And he's gotten extremely physical and playing well. Had a good fall camp. So again, he's a guy that played a lot last year, but now he's in a starting role. And how's he going to respond? And so I'm excited to see Brandon. I think Brandon is going to be a guy that really is going to have a chance to be one of the top players in the country this year. I really feel that way.
Since you're not playing this team this year, did you talk to Gus at all about some of the new stuff you guys are going to kind of incorporate this season?
No, not a whole lot. I mean, we talked a little bit, but it was more on just kind of sharing some ideas and just like we do every year. We'll get together in clinic and talk a little bit. But as far as talking about this game much, no, we haven't talked about this.
But I'm saying like going out to Nevada and Oklahoma State, you like bounce some of those ideas.
Oh yeah, I mean it just goes back to just sharing ideas, places that he went and visited on. I mean, we just kind of cross ideas and see if it fits. Some things he was doing, did it fit what we were doing? The things we're doing, did it fit what he's doing? But yeah, we try to always each year get together and share ideas. There's no question on that, but we did.
You said you spoke to about anyone who had familiarity with this defense, watched all this film. I mean, who did you talk to about this?
Who did I talk to about all this?
Who's the most interesting person you spoke to?
I mean, I talked to a lot of people. I mean, there's really no one in particular. I mean, it's just and that's a little bit overrated as well. I mean, it is more so of the film study that you had and people that were involved, but I mean, it's going to boil down to the Clemson Tigers. I'm just going to tell you right now. I mean, it's you got to go in there and you got to be able to protect the football. You got to be able to manage the game. You got to play good at the quarterback position, and if you do that, you give yourself a chance. And that's what you ask for. And defenses are defense. There's only so many different coverages you can run. There's only so many fronts you can run. Only so many different type of blitzes you can run. I mean, over the course of last year, we saw just about everything. It's just a fact of we got to be able to get good at what we do and be able to pick up and protect the football. And you do that, you give yourself a chance. And you got to have good quarterback play. And we all know that. We all know what happens when we do have good quarterback play. And so, I'm excited for Tajh. Nobody's talked about Tajh yet. I'm going to talk about him because I'm excited for him. I'm extremely excited for Tajh. I think Tajh has prepared himself for this. I think he is the ownership that he has taken in this team, not just offensively but defensively, as a leader of this football team. I'm excited to see him. I mean, he's a veteran player now. A year ago this time, he was a rookie. And we were talking about what's he going to be like. Well, he's a veteran player. He's got 14 games underneath him and 2 springs and 2 fall camps. So you expect him to be that veteran guy that manages things cool and calm and collective on the field. And so that's what excites me, to be able to watch him in a whole nother element to see how he's going to respond. So I want Tajh at his best when he's having fun on the field and playing the game that he loves, and so it's going to be really exciting for us to watch him and watch him perform.
How have you gone about teaching him damage control, essentially, to keep things from spiraling worse?
Well, we've talked a lot about it, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that you are now a veteran player, and and some of the adversity that you may have faced in camp, in spring ball. I mean, we've put a lot of pressure on him to see how he's going to respond, and to make sure that, hey, it's all about the next play. And it's that windshield theory, it's more important to see where you're going and where you came from. And so we've talked a lot about that. We talk about it daily. Hey, at the same point, you know, we're going to kick it off 7:30. I believe it's 7:30 Saturday night. It's 7 o'clock Saturday night. We'll be there, and you know, he'll be ready. You know, again, he's excited about this. This is, you know, he now knows what to expect. So I'm excited to watch him and Andre and those guys. You know, these guys have put a lot of hard work in, and as has Auburn. So it's, you know, two great opponents going after each other. I think it's going to be a great venue.
What do you say to Clemson fans who see Taj's interception numbers during the scrimmages and they're concerned about that? What's your
Well, you know, a lot of it was in some situational, whether it be the last play of the game or what. I mean, that's, you know, obviously those things that we talk about, you know, in our meeting rooms, and understanding where to go with the football. You know, learning from it. That's, I mean, it is what it is. When we get out there and practice, that's when we put him in those situations. That's when we put the pressure on him to see how he's going to respond. And so I think you'll find Tajh is, you know, if you remember back last year with Tajh was at his best when he was just playing, and he wasn't trying to do too much. And now being a veteran player, Tajh's got to understand that not every play is going to score. Not every play is designed to score. It's his job to manage the game and move the chains. And that's whether with his feet, with his eyes, with his arm, whatever it may be, manage the game and move the chains. And nobody cares how you got your team in the end zone, but get them in the end zone. And so I think that's extremely important, and that's things we've talked about. But to see him and the fall camp that he had this year, I'm excited about watching Tajh and being out there to let him run it.
Has he come back as a lot more potent of a running threat than he was at the end of the last season?
Most definitely. You know, he's obviously got his weight down, and has done a good job running the football. But again, it's about managing the game and moving the chains. And that's, if you keep those sticks moving, whether your feet, your eyes, your arm, whatever it is. And so yes, that's something he's done a good job of this fall camp, is being able to be more elusive.
How do you see the roles shaking out behind Andre?
I think you're going to see. I think you'll see both DJ and Hot Rod in there. Zach Brooks will play. How much, I don't know, but he'll definitely get to play. He's the bigger back of all of them. Hot Rod has probably had the of all the running backs and you know, the growth from the spring into the fall camp. Hot Rod has been impressive. He's really earned a lot of the trust in the coaching staff and learned a lot of the trust in his teammates. So I think, you know, it's, you know, with the tempo that we play at, you're going to have to play them. You're going to have to, you know, and we expect to be one of the fastest teams in the country. I mean, as far as getting the ball off, I mean, that's just what we do. And so.
Ideally, would Tajh be your second leading rusher, or would you rather be one of those other
No,
guys?
I'd rather be those other guys. But, you know, we want to make sure that Tajh makes is able to, again, move the chains with his feet or his eyes, whatever it is.
With the pistol, do you feel like that takes more pressure off the offensive line? Does it give them any
Well, you know, I mean, we talked about the pistol during the off season and during fall camp, and it's a, it's a formation of us, and it has helped the offensive line out in that regard. We're not exclusive pistol, but you know, we've run a little bit, and we'll, we're still going to run our hip stack alignments, and but yeah, I think it just gives a mix up and just a change up for those guys.
Sorry if it's already been asked, but who are two guys on their defense that when Tajh comes to the line of scrimmage, you better know where they're at?
Well, I think there's several of those guys. I think all four, you better know where all them guys up front are. I think there's probably as good a defensive front as we've seen. The two defensive ends are extremely athletic, speed rush guys. They're sound in the secondary. So there's not really one or two guys that you know. I mean, we've got our keys and all that, but definitely up front, those guys are very athletic and they're back. You know, they were so young last year, and a couple of them were injured, Didn't get to play a whole lot, but they definitely are. I know they're extremely excited about their defensive front. I do know that, but so.
You talk about Cole Stout and how much better a backup he is this year.
Well, Cole has done coming out of spring. Cole was it was a wide open battle. Came into entering fall camp. We felt like it was Cole and Morgan to battle through, and we knew Chad was coming in. You get into fall camp, and Cole wins the job. He wins it outright at the number 2 job. Had a good camp. Still got a lot of things he's got to improve on. Morgan's obviously a guy in there. Chad Kelly's still a guy that we hope we don't have to use Chad, but Chad has the ability to push them all, and so that's always promising. It's just making sure we keep Chad with that edge that he has and has had since he's gotten here. So I think I know Chad's going to travel with us, and our plans are not to playing, but I do think that he's a guy that's going to continue to grow. And to be put in some roles where, if in fact we had to have him, he would be ready. But Cole is a guy that has earned the number 2 job and has done a good job with it. So we'll see.
Is your hope to still not have to use Hopper?
Yes, yeah, it's same type of deal like with Chad. I mean, unless it's just unforeseen circumstance, we have to put him in.
Will Chad travel to every away game this season?
Yeah.
Because they did that with Tajh, I guess,
Yeah.
before you were here.
Yeah. We want to get him in there and get him used to game day and get him used to the meetings and get him ready.
You mentioned Kalon. How many of your 2s on the O-line do you anticipate feeling confident in using?
Well, I think Kalon is one of them. You're going to have to use, and Shaq Anthony's had a good started out with a really good fall camp. Kind of like most young kids, they'll hit a wall. He hit a wall, but he's a guy that we feel confident in, and so that's kind of where we are.
Norton as well.
Pardon me?
Norton as well. He'd be
Yeah, Ryan Norton's another one. I should have mentioned Ryan. Ryan has we've moved Ryan from center. He's had some center and some guard work, and so he's a young man that we obviously would feel very confident in using. Ryan's a guy that we feel like very well could eventually wind up being in our top 5 before it's over with, but right now he's not there.